This here is my third Zephyrus G14. Either today or tomorrow I'm going to be doing something with it. I'll have to be going to Best Buy. I want to try and get our money back. I don't think that'll be possible because I'm outside the return window. But this is the third Zephyrus G14 I've gone through, and I have this under warranty. I had the other two under warranty too, but I returned those well within the return policy. The reason why I didn't return this one is very simple. My father wanted me to tough it out. I wanted to return it, but he had the final say. So I'm stuck with a laptop that is basically a pain in the ass to use. And in certain instances when I'm gaming, this thing literally screams. So with that said, there are other issues, so give me a second. The first one here is this nice little cluster of dead pixels. These pixels were like this right out of the box, but I didn't notice them at Best Buy when I opened this laptop up. So I was stuck with these right out of the gate, and I didn't notice them until about maybe 3 hours after I got home with it. This right here alone is grounds of return, but like I said, my father wanted me to tough it out. Another issue that I didn't notice at Best Buy was the fan right here was defective. Whenever it spins up, it vibrates the whole chassis. I don't know what is wrong with it, most likely something to do with the ball bearing, but the fan is defective. So those are the first two things that were defective for about 2.5 months. And then just recently, I started having a really big issue. Severe coil whine coming from a nice little coil right in here. So let me pop the back cover off and show you the exact coil that's making the screaming noise I'm talking about. It's this gray coil right here that's making all the racket. I don't know why these laptops have these severe defects, but like I said, this is the third one I've gone through, and unlike the other two, I can't actually, or I don't think I'll be able to return it. I'm going to try to, but it's probably looking like I'll just have to send it off to ASUS or have Best Buy send it off to ASUS to fix it. But with that said, what makes it worse is that this one right here took 2.5 months for the coil whine to start making the racket that it's doing right now. While the second Zephyrus G14 I had took around 2 to 3 days. Now obviously that one got returned instantly, but like I said, my father wanted me to put up with it. And now I'm left with a $1,000 laptop that I literally can't use because of all the defects. Defective panel, bad fan, and now severe coil whine whenever I actually want to use this thing for its original purpose, which is gaming. Luckily, when I'm watching YouTube videos and whatnot, it's quiet, but the instant I want to load up a game, well, you'll see in a second. Wow, normally I gotta go into the character creator to get it to start. So let's see what happens if I actually go to the character creator. The reason why I'm using this game is because I have a small window between the fans fully ramping and me being able to actually show off the coil here making all that racket. So it will take a little while for it to load because I am loading it off my backup drive right there because obviously I don't have everything on this because I'm planning on either returning this to Best Buy and getting our money back, or Best Buy is going to send this off to ASUS to get it fixed and then give it back to me. So obviously I don't want to keep my data on this thing, is why I'm running off the drive there. So I'll come back when it loads with the character creator and we'll see how loud it really gets. Alright, so the game's loaded up and the coil whine's making racket. Again, I don't know why it took 2.5 months for this coil to start making racket, but I don't know what else to say other than these laptops have a very high defect rate. I don't think I ever had anything with coil whine like this before. The closest I can come to is my RX 6600 XT whenever it's pushing like 1,000 frames a second. And that usually only happens when I'm first initially loading up Genshin Impact. Even though I have VSync turned on, it still pushes 1,000 frames for some dumb reason. And the coils in this thing will start making a whining noise. That's the only time I can really say I had coil whine issue. But with something like that, I expect something like this to make coil whine because it's being pushed way harder than it needs to be. While this thing right here is just running just this. And it's already making coil whine. So with that said, I'm going to put this thing back together and I'm going to box it up and get it ready to be returned to Best Buy. Hopefully Best Buy is willing to just take this thing and just give me a brand new one off the shelf. Or if not, then they'll just be giving me or they'll just be sending this to Seuss and whatnot. But with that said, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to pack everything up and we'll just go from there. I don't think I actually mentioned why this fan here is defective. Whenever this fan spins up, it vibrates the whole chassis, while this one right here, when it spins up, it doesn't vibrate at all. So there is something wrong with this one when it comes to its ball bearing. Again, this is my third one I've gone through, and every single one of them has had some form of defect, and the last two have the worst defects to date. Now with that said, the reason why I haven't closed this thing up yet is because I'm actually copying over the game file over to the computer. That way, so when I go to take this to Best Buy, I can actually load that game up and physically show them the coil whine and whatnot. Obviously, they'll be able to hear with the casing on, but I removed the bottom panel so you can actually hear a lot more easier because I can go like this. But yeah, with that said, I'm going to wait for this to finish copying over, then I'm going to button everything up and get this thing ready to be taken to Best Buy. Alright, I'm back from Best Buy. And one thing I want to note right out of the gate is that when I went to the Geek Squad section of my Best Buy, there's 3 other ASUS Zephyrus laptops at the back. And they're all on various shapes of help me. So that right there should give you an idea that the bullshit I'm going through with this laptop is not just me. And to make it even more known that that's the fact, when I was talking to the Geek Squad guy over there about what we're going to do, he was saying that they've had multiple Zephyrus G14s get returned to their store. And again, that's just my local Best Buy. I don't know what it's like for the rest of America, but if my local Best Buy has gone through multiple returns of Zephyrus G14s from multiple people, there's clearly something wrong with the Zephyrus G14s. And I highly doubt the 2022 revision will resolve it. And with that said, like I said before, I don't have the time, patience, or money to even consider looking at the 2022 revision. So with that said, it's been shipped off to their, or not yet, but it's going to be shipped off to Best Buy's warranty repair area. I believe it's in Louisiana or something like that, from what the Geek Squad guy said. So I won't know for at least like 3 weeks what's going to happen. But there are 2 possibilities. One, they trash it and give me a complete refund. Well, technically my parents, but gives us a complete refund because of the multiple faults. Or 2, they try and repair it and they send it back to me. I'm hoping they just trash it and give us our money back, which is what the guy from Geek Squad is saying that they're most likely going to do because of all the defaults. As you saw, there's 3, but they're pretty major defaults, and like I said, this is also my 3rd Zephyrus G14, and it's not just me, like I said, that's had to go through this when it comes to Best Buy and whatnot. So, with that said, it's nice to see that when it comes to all the complaints I was having with that laptop, I am now vilified or verified or whatever the term is. I was proven right. I'm not crazy for once. So, like I said, I won't know for at least 3 weeks. So for the time being, I got my mother's, which is now my MacBook. I just got done boot camping this thing into Windows 10. And I also went the extra step and completely nuked the Mac OS partition off this laptop. That way now I have a lot more storage to work with. I have the full 250 gigs of storage that this laptop has. Now obviously this thing doesn't have Mac OS on it anymore, but if I want to do something on Mac OS, I got this Mac Mini right here that has Mac OS already installed. So I can do simple YouTube videos. I can watch anime on this. I can even play Minecraft. But when it comes to anything heavier, I got my main desktop here. And when it comes to my main desktop, it's actually been very stable. The only issues I've been having is Windows 10 related. But the instability of my video card not initializing when I restart the computer and whatnot, I haven't had any of those issues. So now my main desktop is completely stable, and the only thing I'm waiting for now is my new case to come in. I'm getting a Fractal Design Torrent Nano. Now it's supposed to come in today, and I'm thinking it's not. I mean, it's already 4 p.m. It's pretty much not going to come in at all. It's most likely going to come in Tuesday or Wednesday. The reason being, my local area has some very heavy sleet and ice, so they were backed up for basically 4 days. So hopefully I'll get it in tomorrow. If not, maybe Wednesday. I will be posting some form of a build video up whenever I get that case, but I'll have to wait for that case to come in. The main thing I want to see is, can I stick either two 120s or two 140s on the bottom of the case and still stick my RX 6600 XT in the bottom. Theoretically, that should be possible. And since I can jam two 140s in the bottom, I'm going to do two 140s. And I'm probably going to stick my one of those little Noctua fans I got and just stick it in the back. I'm going to keep the 180 mil, that big ass 180 mil fan in the front. Even though I can put in two 140s, I think what I'll do is I'll eventually get myself the Thermaltake or Fractal Design, I forget which company makes a RGB 180 mil fan. But I'll eventually get myself a 180 mil RGB fan and replace that fan with that one. And the reason why I'm not going to do the 140 swap in the front is because, let's be fair, I bought this case for cooling and still have a fairly decent sized small footprint. So I'm going to keep that big old fan in the front. So with that said, for now, the laptop saga is on hold. Like I said, I'll come back in about 3 weeks or maybe earlier, depending on whenever we get a resolution to this issue. Again, hopefully they're just going to take that laptop, put it in the trash, and give us our money back. Because I already did take a look over my local Best Buy. I saw quite a few very nice MSI laptops, and I believe even a few Acers. But if I'm going to get myself a laptop, it's most likely going to be a MSI of some sort. I might get the MSI laptop that's full AMD because I saw one with an AMD 6700M, I believe. I think that 6700M is about on par with my RX 6600 XT, which is what my Zephyrus was initially. My Zephyrus was basically on par with my desktop, which is why I liked it. It was my desktop, but in a laptop form, but as we all know, that laptop's a piece of shit. So with this rambling done, I'm done.